All right, what is going on, everyone? KARAC Hendricks here. This road is mine. Man, we are just rolling through these episodes. I got my boy across the table from me, Cohen Hendricks.
Yep.
All right, buddy. So should be a fun one. Seems a little obvious, as my Uncle Grant would say. It's not deep, but it's fancy. Sort of a paraphrase. We're going to talk this week about Fleetwood Mac Rumours. This is kind of a classic record. Yeah, for those of you watching it on YouTube, we got the video rolling there. Cohen just held up the vinyl copy. I don't even know how I got this. It might have been your mom's.
It looks old.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Pull it open for a sec. Just to remind everyone, all our listeners, we're using my menial vinyl collection as the starting point for our topics of discussion. And because there's 52 weeks in a year, we're doing 52 episodes, and there's 26 letters in the alphabet. So we're going to do each letter twice. We're going to take some liberties. I haven't even told my boy about what's coming up on the liberties. Yeah, look at the, I always loved the logo on around that era. The
nice.
Little Feet Waiting for Columbus.
I was going to
like
say,
that
it
too.
looks like Little
Yeah.
Feet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Burbank, home of Warner Brothers Records. So do you remember when we went to LA and we drove through Beverly Hills and there was all those cool trees? Yeah.
Yes.
Always, and you see movies and TV shows and it always has that look to it. See, this is the thing you don't get on digital, right? You do, but it's always kind of reflecting back to the good old days when you had 33 1/3 records and all the artwork.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's. Does it say? Is it a Canadian issue? It must be. Hey, because I got a bunch of records one time at a garage sale, and a lot of them came from South Africa. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was just a random get, but I think it's the Canadian issue.
Yeah,
should be right at the bottom. Yeah.
Manufactured and distributed by WEA Music of Canada.
Yeah. We all right. Warner Electra Atlantic. Yeah, I mean, what can we say about this record? I mean, Fleetwood Mac Rumours, not always my favorite of theirs to go to. I'm so sick of it. But
not actually super familiar with their stuff.
Okay.
Especially now, I'll be less, probably unfortunately less encouraged now that they've gained popularity. I'm going to just feel like a normie. But
what's up? Ocean Spray? Do you drink Ocean Spray or did you stop that too?
Actually, unironically, I do really enjoy Ocean Spray.
It is good.
Juice.
Yeah.
And I like skateboarding.
Yeah.
Well, longboarding. I'd like to learn how to skateboard, but
nice.
I can regurgitate some information though that I've
fire away.
passed over that I'm familiar that you have said in the past that I think you prefer Tusk.
I do.
Yeah. I thought so.
Well, it's another coked out record, right?
Is it? Yeah.
Yes,
There you
coming
go.
from a guy that's never done it. But it's a double album. It was Lindsay's just complete FU to the industry,
That's cool.
self-indulgent. Well, it was, yeah. But it's also kind of terrible. Like, it should have been one record, and even then, it took him, over 2 years to make.
Was it after the one after this?
It was exactly. And those are always a curse of Kiss of Death kind of album.
Definitely.
The album after the popular album.
And I remember we were in a Walmart many years ago, and or it might have even been like Zellers or Target or something, and we saw this CD, and that's when I always used to laugh at Nevermind by Nirvana. Every time we'd see it in a store, I was that young, I'd say, haha, look at this kid.
Yeah, naked kid.
But yeah, this one, and I remember either you or Mum or both said that arguably the best album of all time.
Probably, yeah.
Or at least not, it's up there.
Yeah,
sure.
it has to be. I mean, it's, even just the fact that one of the songs can come on TikTok. And
that's proof, I think.
I think so, yeah. There was a magic to this. So, I mean, maybe let's back up a bit. So the history of you can't even really call them the same band in a way. So Fleetwood Mac was originally a British blues band, right, from the late 60s.
Peter Green.
Exactly, right. So I even have my Les Paul modded with the Peter Green mods, so like the pickup spun around on the neck pickup, and really cool band. Now obviously Peter Green suffered with a lot of I think schizophrenia or something. He's he wasn't in the band. I think one solo record at some point when he was right after Fleetwood Mac, but there were so many incarnations of Fleetwood Mac that it's almost silly to call them Fleetwood Mac. But then a lot of bands were like that, right? The Eagles had a second life. The Doobie Brothers basically they're just different bands with the same name. Van Hagar, of course.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which ironically also has a song called Dreams.
I didn't know
I was going to drink Ocean Spray going on a longboard and singing that one.
That'd be clever, actually.
Yeah, but who has time for that? But Yeah,
funny.
but so this record is so funny because it. I remember, when in the CD era when it was things were just flying, they had like a 2 CD, the very best of Fleetwood Mac or whatever. 9 of the 11 songs from this album were on their best of, right? So they weren't necessarily all singles, but like it is one of
like where their albums are actually like a greatest hits.
Yeah, and like the Cars' first record is like that. Like
Moving Pictures by Rush, I always think of too.
For sure.
The ones that aren't hits are played on deep tracks.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But there's actually 2 songs that weren't commercial success. So,
but they're still, you still kind of know what they are from.
Definitely,
either FM radio or now of course that radio's picked up the torch from that. But yeah, their early incarnation, they were just big blues guys, but the 2 members that have been through it all are Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, and so that's hence their name, Fleetwood Mac, kind of a play on their names. Christine Perfect, that was her name, married John McVie. Now she goes by Christine McVie.
Right.
She just kept that. No, they split a long time ago.
She kept the name though.
She did, yeah. Well, I was just but she was a solo artist. I actually have her solo album on CD.
Oh yeah,
it was another one of those like searching in a CD bin and interesting.
Yeah,
very few people would even recognize it. I probably listened to it once and filed it, but at least I can say I have it.
Yeah,
but she brought a bit more of a obviously a female voice, good piano player. Yeah, just a kind of a softer touch to their stuff, and then through the early into the mid 70s, they had began this journey of exploring different styles and sounds, and depending on who came into the band, they would still have that same rhythm section, bass and drums, and Christine there too, and then different guitar players drop in, and so many guitar players have floated through Fleetwood Mac. Like here, I'm just gonna pull up the amazing wiki just to because I don't want to forget anyone because there were so many. Initially, we're obviously looking at like Peter Green, Jeremy Spencer, but Danny Kirwan. Bob Welch ended up being a solo artist, so he did a couple albums with them as well. But then, of course, the era we're all very familiar with is the Lindsey Buckingham era. So it's good that we talked about Dire Straits last week, and now we're talking about Fleetwood Mac. I mean, Lindsey is he's an icon. He's a guitar hero from just a number of perspectives. And in an interesting twist, he is heavily influenced by not only Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. He makes that very well known. A lot of his arrangements and production techniques are from that. But Les Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Les Paul as an engineer, as a guitar engineer. So Les Paul was one of the first guys. Not only did he obviously have a guitar named after him, but he invented a lot of studio trickery and equipment that is still probably used now. Maybe not so much in the digital era, but he would record, like he has a song called How High the Moon with oh my God, Mary. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, but
Les Paul does?
Yeah. And so he had a girl named Mary something. Anyway, she would sing, and then he played the guitar riff, and then he sped it up a whole octave, so it was faster. And so
that's cool.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, and Lindsey continues to use, or always did use, those sorts of techniques, and when he was like doing his guitar layering and things, and his solo records are pretty indulgent too, but also really good, really good stuff. Yeah.
I assume he uses the Les Paul then?
Well, he did. He did when he first joined Fleetwood Mac. That was probably the coolest era. The record right before this was just an eponymous album, and it was the first one with Buckingham Nicks in the band, and it was pretty awesome. And some of their live shows were great too. And he was also doing some of the earlier era songs. So he did like basically he did like Peter Green songs, like not a lot of them, but like enough of them to really remind people that these that this is that same band, and we're kind of reforming and creating an extension of that.
That's sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think another interesting thing about like the whole Peter Green thing too is the song Black Magic Woman.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes, and that's Santana actually covered it. Right?
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
And I didn't know that actually till like probably like a few weeks ago. Yeah. Which is cool because that totally sounds like I haven't listened to a lot of Santana, but that sounds like a Santana song.
Well, yeah, and
or at least they make it sound like it.
Yeah, it became such an iconic song in their repertoire that it ended up being.
Well, and the Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, which is arguably the best Guitar Hero.
Right. Yes, that was good.
In it, and it was the Santana version.
Yeah.
So that's kind of actually where I think a lot of my favorite music comes from.
Yeah.
Is from that game.
That's what I always said when the Guitar Hero and what was the other one? Rock Band. Yeah.
Rock Band,
when they came out, that was good for the industry because it made a whole different generation aware of some of these songs.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was just a really important part of the exposure. You're probably more aware. Actually, that and NHL 2001,
yes. 2011. We on PS3 had Blitzkrieg Bop. Golden Earring.
Yeah.
Sandstorm by Darude.
Yeah.
Or as most people just call it, Darude Sandstorm.
Darude Sandstorm. Yeah.
Yeah. That had a lot of good songs too. Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It was amazing.
And I think a song from Rumours was on. I think Go Your Own Way was on Rock Band that we have for the Wii. I think it was just the first Rock Band.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we bought Rock Band 1. I bought that used, and then like Rock Band 3. And then of course the Beatles. I'm so glad I got the Beatles one on Wii.
Yeah.
And I bought the extra. I got the Harrison guitar as well too. You had to buy that extra. So
yeah.
That was a really fun way to expose a young Cohen to musical endeavors.
Yep.
But yeah, the album right before Rumours was just called Fleetwood Mac, and you know, if I had to pick one to listen to now, it'd probably be that one, just because I'm so sick of this one. But this is a good example of, again, because generationally it had been out by the time I got to it. It was already 15 years old or whatever. But when you hear a classic album for the first time and it sticks with you, you know it's a good album. And like
totally.
Joni Mitchell Blue is like that for me.
Yeah.
But and this is one of the albums why I always say 77 was pretty darn awesome, because this
is the one I always think of for 77.
Well, and it kind of is the main one for sure. But Bad Out of Hell too, right? Or was that 76?
I think that was 76.
Shit, yeah. See, I got into it at the same time.
My friend actually just got that on vinyl.
Oh, really?
Tided.
The picture disc or just regular?
What's it?
The picture disc, like where you can see a picture and it's clear.
Oh, I'm not
vinyl.
sure.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sometimes they didn't sound as good, the picture discs, but if I recall, there was a picture disc of Bad Out of Hell, so it had the cover in the vinyl itself.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, because I think we played it, and I don't think it had that, but it was from Indigo. But no.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, good. That's awesome. That's a great one to have. That was an album. Everything in rock around that era, in my opinion, and I'm right.
Of course, yes, objectively.
Subjectively, objectively. Everything was influenced after there was pre Born to Run Springsteen and post, and Meatloaf Bad Out of Hell would not have happened without Born to Run, because he brought the Spectre-esque kind of wall of sound approach, but brought it still. It was just more fresh and more dense, the production. And so an album like Bad Out of Hell, which featured a lot of the E Street Band members, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was also new, I think, produced by Todd Rundgren.
Okay, yeah.
And it almost bordered on parody at times, which, because Meatloaf he came from theater, so he...
Is it just a guy that goes by the name?
Yeah,
Meatloaf? Okay, I didn't know that.
Marvin Lee Aday is his name, and he is... just a fat dude. He's still alive, but he can't sing anymore. It's so brutal. Well, if you ask him, he'd tell you he sings better than ever. But he's one of those guys. But right. I would say into the early 2000s, Bad Out of Hell 3 was actually a great album too. I loved Bad Out of Hell 2, which a lot of songs were actually from the Jim Steinman solo record. Yeah, we'll have to get into Meatloaf in another episode. This is going way up. But you're right. That was a there was just so many records in this era anyway, but totally. So I got into Meatloaf Bad Out of Hell and this one at basically the same time, and Born to Run, I think was when I was really digging into.
Well, for records like classics that stuck with me, Hotel California, which was 76.
Yeah, that's 76 too. Yeah.
But even to this day, I still go back, and one of my buddies actually just reminded me of Journey of the Sorcerer by the Eagles.
I played you that, hey?
You played me that.
I did, okay.
And I'm pretty sure I showed him years ago and then he still listens to it because it's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It's in that, hey?
Yep. And that's I think why I was like, hey, dude, you got to check this out, because we were kind of into sci-fi stuff then, and because I read the first two and then he read them, and he has Dune too, which I think he's read.
The book, yeah.
And then you showed me that, I think, because it's an instrumental Eagles song, and it's badass.
Yeah, and it was the last sort of thing that Bernie Ledden could do. Like Bernie was so reluctant and just not into the rock direction, right? So he was having a hard time finding his place. But that one, like, it had the banjo in it, and
it's
but
super
it was
cool.
5.5 minute, And of course, Eagles, perfect band where I like to delete songs. I don't want to, like, totally. In fact, actually, I should probably get to that one. I'm going to put up a Spotify playlist where I take the whole discography of the Eagles and then I just delete the hits.
That would be the one.
Yeah, because stuff like Journey of the Sorcerer, the second song on that record, Too Many Hands, is just, so good.
Oh, I think... it's all coming back to me. And another one I checked out the other day was Those Shoes.
Yeah,
which
that's groovy.
Took me right back to my
it's
paper
got
route again.
the talk box, isn't it, with the Joe Walsh? Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, great band. Yeah. Wow.
That's an awesome song.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. God bless them. The egos, I like to call them. Actually, I hate Don Henley. Like as a human, I just can't. But super talented.
Gotta love the big mouth. That was so funny.
Did you I don't think I got there yet. No.
Okay, I think it's in the first season. Yeah. He's like, or was it? It was Don Henley, or it might have been one of the other members.
Glenn Fry, probably, or no, Joe Walsh is
or Joe Walsh it was. Yeah, and I think he was talking about Don Henley.
Yeah,
he's your brother.
Yeah, you don't call him on his birthday or something like that. That was a good one.
Yeah. Definitely.
But of course, so speaking of a band that definitely had an evolution, there's kind of like Hotel California, and then there's the before that and the after that, which isn't really fair, but Fleetwood Mac had a few different incarnations, but this one left its hugest, biggest, largest legacy. Love the first record, just called Fleetwood Mac, but then Rumours is just, just pick it up. Let's read through the songs here. Do you remember any of these ones?
Okay, so Don't Know, Secondhand News.
Okay.
Dreams, of course.
Yeah.
Never Going Back Again.
Oh.
No. Don't Stop. No. Go Your Own Way, obviously. I think that's one of the most popular songs ever.
Oh, yeah.
Songbird. I know that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
The Chain, of course.
Yeah.
That's a great song. And then I don't know the last four, unfortunately.
Okay.
You Make Lovin' Fun.
Yeah.
I Don't Want to Know.
Yeah.
Oh Daddy and Gold Dust Woman.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay, it is one of the best records ever made. Now that you've gone through the list, yeah.
I love the pictures too on the back.
Yeah. Well, so the history on this record is, so we're obviously, in super blow season. John and Christine were breaking up.
Yeah.
Stevie and Mick were in a relationship because Mick was married, and then they were splitting up too. So, and of course Stevie and Lindsay were an item, and then they were breaking up. So there was just a lot of like relationship tension. Yeah, totally. And it informed a lot of the lyrics and the vibe, and of course, just and being recorded at the record plant in LA, the sound of that room too, it just contributed to that as well. There's a very dead sound. Actually, I think that's the place when they closed that studio down. Dave Grohl bought the mixing console and moved it into his house.
That's sweet.
Well, he's
smart,
so great. Yeah. Now, and this record too is one of the interesting situations where in the CD era things changed a little bit. There was one B-side that from when they released the singles of a song that wasn't on the record, and it was called Silver Springs.
Okay.
Beautiful song. And on when they reissued it on CD in like some sort of an expanded deluxe version, they actually dropped it right in the middle of the track listing, because apparently that's where it should have been. But they didn't want to add another song to the vinyl because then it would have made it longer. We would have messed up the mastering process, so then it wouldn't have sounded as good. So they dropped Silver Springs, which is a shame because it was a classic live too. And if you had to get it on a 45, and it was a B-side.
Is it radio played? Or?
Well, I think they all were.
Yeah. So on a digital version, would it have it on the regular version, or
no? Now I think they've replaced it. But it made sense. Like there'd be side A, and then they put Silver Springs, and then side B of the album. Okay, so. Yeah. And it flowed well. Like sometimes, when they start monkeying with playlist orders, it's kind of a hard pill to swallow. But and so this album, like the eponymous one and Tusk, have been reissued a couple different times. I think I've got both versions of all three.
Yeah.
You know, because they had some live shows that had been recorded and never released, so those did end up coming out.
Yeah.
And some outtakes too. Like there's, you can listen to all of the songs in the same order, but in different versions, so you can hear and under like different names and stuff too. Like this one in particular. Here, let me just pull up the track list here. Let's see. Yeah, the outtakes. Yeah, like the song Secondhand News was called, Never Going Back Again. Actually had a working title called Brushes. So like drum brushes, right? So it had, and there were a couple outtakes that were recorded and then finally made their way to be released in 2004 or whatever. One song is called Planets of the Universe that Stevie Nicks wrote, and it's on. She did an album in I think 2001, and it was comprised mostly of songs that she had written a long time ago, and then she like recorded them finally or re-recorded them. Yeah. And that's one of them, Planets of the Universe. Yeah, really great song. It just stood up.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, she's one of those very unique writer. I mean, like you sometimes don't know what the heck she's actually writing about or what she's singing about, but it gives you that mood, that feeling, and she really brought something in a similar way to how the Beatles all brought their own personalities to it, especially in the later years through Abbey Road or through the White Album. The Lindsay impact was always there with his sort of acousticy stuff or his guitar playing, like Oh Daddy or Songbird. Those were clearly Christine McVie songs, right? And she's playing piano and then of course the Stevie Nicks songs. She like, what was it? The Welsh Witch or something. I don't know. Oh, it was, I don't know, a little bit pompous, but it was pretty dope.
And I think another one of the most popular songs would be Edge of 17.
Well, yeah.
Which
So
is a cool song.
Getting into their solo stuff, I mean, that's a whole other discussion and well worth it too. Definitely in talking about guitar players, definitely impacted me. Lindsey Buckingham. It's so funny too because Keith Urban is obviously a huge impact on me, but the two guitar players that he used to talk about when he first came out in the band The Ranch were Lindsey Buckingham and Mark Knopfler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, my heroes, but he's like 10 some years older than me. Okay, but that's cool. Yeah, so and you can hear it too, like especially when like he's just doing some slow stuff.
Like Mark Knopfler.
Totally, yeah.
In his
and he'll do a lot of stuff with no pick, just his fingers, and that's Lindsey was like that too. He had a bit of a also really good at using delays. Which is another Les Paul sort of trick. The ping ponging, playing off of the sound, like the dotted eighth kind of idea.
Who was on Edge of 17 for guitar?
I would imagine that's Waddy.
Really?
Yeah. Waddy was her band leader, I think.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my man. I love Waddy.
Because actually, my girlfriend was just listening to some of the classic songs getting brought back from TikTok. Like we were talking about Zanzibar. It's her favorite song right now.
So bizarre.
I never even heard of it, which is weird.
Yeah.
And then of course Fleetwood Mac, which is good if it gets people into it.
For sure.
I'm all for it. It was so funny because she texted me and she was like, "Hey, Edge of 17, is it just me or is it this? It sounds like Barracuda by Heart." And I was like, "Oh,
good for her. Wow,
interesting observation." And and she was right actually because it's both. They both thug on the E, except Edge of 17 is the octave up from Barracuda.
Right.
But they're both E and they both thug on the E.
Yeah, for sure.
So, which is cool.
I never would have thought of that. Yeah. Throw a ring on that one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. and also I always also think of Eye of the Tiger by Survivor.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said for that swinging 16, like you get that, it creates that tension and it gets you on to go. And the cool thing about when Waddy does that, no delay, nothing, just a Les Paul into an amp and it's all, it's all in his wrist. That's cool. I read an article or interview with him one time. He said like, there was one time, they were doing a live show and, she'd be like, cause it's usually their last song of the set to close out the night. And she's like, 10 minutes, like wandering around, shaking hands, and he's like, like, okay, anytime now, like I can do this, but it's getting to be a little sore here, yeah. But no, Waddy Patel, that's between so Christine McVie had a solo album in I think '83. Great, kind of something got a hold of me or whatever. Yeah, that really great kind of pop song. And she and Lindsay did an album a few years ago actually together. So it was kind of neat because we've all been wanting the Buckingham Nicks to like, do something together, but
I haven't listened to that. But
I've got like a vinyl rip of it. It's,
because we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, it's still not released digitally officially.
That's
I think a couple songs were on her box set. She had like a box set, and one song I think was on there. And I mean that tells the story, right? That's how they got signed when Mick and John came over to the U.S. to look for studios, and they were just trying to keep things fresh. They were signed to Warner Brothers, and they were like checking out the studio, and I guess the engineer had played a copy of the Buckingham Nicks stuff, and they're like, "Who are these people?" Yeah, this is Stevie and Lindsay, and next thing you know, they're in the band.
Sweet.
Transformed the whole project.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, such a creative era. And you know, we really should touch on the fact that like Mick Fleetwood is a really cool drummer, and John McVie is a great bass player, and they're not flashy, and I can't really identify what it is about them, but when you hear them, like, and sometimes they would do songs like with other artists, just the two of them, and like, oh yeah, that's totally Fleetwood Mac's rhythm section. Yeah, like there's cool. a uniqueness to that combo that is.
It's always cool when you can identify rhythm. I don't know. I think it's easier to identify guitar players.
Absolutely.
Than drummers.
Yeah.
But maybe I'd be saying that different if I were a more advanced drummer.
Possibly no, but there's more because there's more tonal.
Yeah,
I think it's in
melodic and rhythm is in guitar too. So
it's in frequencies that I think we can identify a little bit more. Yeah. But drums, like I was just listening to "Easy Lover" by Phil Collins and Philip Bailey, and like Phil Collins is extremely underrated drummer.
Yeah.
Or well rated if you know, but it's so easy to dismiss him because he's that short balding little doofus that and he was so popular through the 80s and into the 90s that it was easy to get sick of him. But like he's just a touch behind the beat, and then Nathan East on bass, like just square right in the middle. There's just nothing like it. He did a lot of drumming through the 80s on Eric Clapton's stuff too, and
Phil did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And
which
produced Behind the Sun, I think, in August. The stuff in the 80s, right before Eric kind of finally cleaned up. Like he was a pretty bad alcoholic, but Journeyman like is the one where he was definitely clean by then, and then his success.
That one had Pretending, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That's bad.
Yeah, and Bad Love too, which was the ripoff of Layla, but I also love Yeah. But it's listening to bass players and drummers and being able to recognize them. You can usually pinpoint their influences, like guitar players too. So you might not be able to pick up the difference between a Simon Phillips and a Jeff Porcaro, but the fans of them, let's say, are definitely could. But I feel Phil is one of those drummers like, oh yeah, that's that era, that Phil, and he also like was part of that accidental invention of that gated snare sound where there's a reverb and then it just cuts off really hard.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, like the top drum fills in songs, of course,
the best. Yeah.
Night, but I there's so many funny because people use that for memes. Like,
do you remember the episode of Modern Family where they did that?
No.
Yeah, they're like standing around, like a bunch of the family members like arguing about something, and then but the song's playing, and then they all stop and then do that because you just can't do that air drum part. Yeah.
I actually saw a funny video of this guy doing. It was like In the Air Tonight drum fill, but it's on like 87 drums. So he just went on like 87 different toms, like just for like 5 minutes. It was really good.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Lots of potential for stuff there.
For sure. We went gig last. Actually, it was at Susan's birthday last year.
Oh yeah.
Matt was it was a challenge for him to he would try to fit in that little drum breakdown from Jack and Diane. Fit it into every song, like whatever tempo it is. As long as you got 2 bars, you got time to do it. So
that's funny. Yeah,
it's always super musician nerded humor. Yeah.
Would that have been Kenny
Yeah. That was the first time Kenny actually tracked with them.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He hadn't been drumming in the studio until then, and they actually asked him, "Hey, throw in something for this," and he just came up with that, and because he didn't want to overplay, but he didn't, and he didn't really know the song, and yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah. Kenny's a guy. His toms are reversed.
Right. So, yes, I remember that.
Which I actually think is brilliant. Like, I'm not a drummer really, but like to me, like to think of taking your hat hand and basically flamming it over and then coming with your snare hand for the second shot, like instead of going in order through like you don't actually have to move as much. You can roll in order without. Yeah, it's and I don't know actually how he stumbled onto that, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, man, that guy's he's a beast. Yeah. Not great meter at times.
No,
but no, he speeds up. Yeah, I've witnessed it more than once on YouTube and stuff. But brings the energy, right? And and sometimes bass players can be blamed for that too. Like sometimes if a bass player's not paying attention, like if you've got a guy like a Kenny, you sometimes need to pull back a little bit on the notes just to help hold him back a bit. So it's not all the drummer's fault, right? But if he's not playing to a click, it can get a little wild sometimes. But he just brings the energy. And he drummed on my song.
I do, yes. That's actually how I heard of him, and which is super cool. Yeah.
Oh, it was a life changer. My buddy Mike Little came through cool. As always. And Candace, his wife. That was a life changer for me. It was I couldn't have thought about it. I couldn't even asked for it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like on my wish list. I think, oh, okay, yep, that'll do.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, it was
it's
amazing.
the snare, right? Or was it the whole track?
No, he played through. There was an 808 like in there for the verses, and then he played along with it, like coming in into the chorus basically, and then played through.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome for sure.
That'd be cool if you, I was just say if you got like listed in the wiki, like associated acts.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, I'll be able to do that maybe if
one day.
Because he's like, if you go to his website, like he's also available for hire too. They had worked with him somehow, or Mike had at some point, so it was, I think, more of a personal either favor or whatever. And
it's even better then.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, what a journey it's been, but. But we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and none more so than a band like Fleetwood Mac, where, they're the influence of different genres on other genres too. The Rumours is the template for the band Little Big Town. Like if you did dig into them at all, the way they stack their harmonies. The way they record their guitars, Lindsay's impact on guitar tracking too is even now. Like I hear, like when Jay Joyce produced Tennille Town's record, like it's clearly 1987 Tango of the Night, Lindsey Buckingham Fleetwood Mac guitars. Like and I don't know if it's accidental or if it's like, oh yeah, I remember that era, and then they start using it. But those influences between that and like John Mayer and like, these are classic country guitar players.
Of course, yes, especially John Mayer.
Yeah. Oh, clearly, definitely. Oh my God, everyone's just ripping off his solos now. It's so funny. Yeah. In new country, like if there's ever like a slow bluesy kind of soulful solo, it's all John Mayer now. Yeah. Which is okay.
He's a good guitar
player.
He
is. His faculty is endless. I'm far bigger fan of his acoustic playing. I think that's to me where he really shines.
I haven't listened to much John Mayer. I just know Slow Dancing in a Burning Room.
Well, yeah. We're going to get to Continuum this year. It's
because
I do have it on colored double vinyl. It deserves mentioning. It is.
I have it on CD actually.
Yeah, good.
I got it years ago.
Yeah, it is, and there's apparently some outtakes left on the floor that need to be heard too. Steve Jordan produced it, of course, and he's an easy target because he is too interested or he sounds like everyone instead of sounding like himself. But he has grown into his thing too. You can clearly hear and smell his influences, but don't we all? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Try not to be such a jerk about it. And his singing too, like he definitely has that Stevie Ray squawk to him that's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. He's left his mark, and he's very talented, and he put it best. So you can't really separate his guitar playing and his singing from his songwriting. He is an artist like that, and a lot of those people are like that. You know, it's easy to talk about specific musicians or singers or whatever, but when they do it all like that, where one ends, the other begins, and you can't really separate them. Sometimes it's a very important part of the.
There is a really cool version I probably showed you of "Slow Dancing in a Burning Room" by Mike Dawes. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh yeah,
Mike Dawes.
I know. I haven't heard it. I don't think, but I know who he is.
Oh yeah, so Mike Dawes and Nick Johnston.
Oh
yeah, it's super cool because Mike Dawes, if you ever watch him, he's known for his being able, like, there's that awesome video of he's demonstrating his technique, and he does like 5 different parts doing Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's cool.
It's awesome. Yeah. He does the loop, and then it's super cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's just it kind of shows that it's such a good song. Like, you know, he can write a song that's super pretty, and you can do it instrumentally.
Well, sure. Yeah, a good melody is a good melody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So, Rumours was a game changer for the industry too. It sold millions and millions of copies. It's still, I think, one of the top 20 at least selling records of all time. Clearly, the streaming numbers went up exponentially once the TikTok situation happened.
Yeah.
It's funny, actually, I never did see those pictures either on the vinyl, because I listened to the CD mostly, growing up, right? I had spin it around there for a sec too. Is there lyrics as well, or just no? It's just photos. Okay.
I mean, I can look on the inside, but
no, that would be it. Yeah, there's because it's not.
Yeah,
it is supposed to. Oh, look at that. Oh,
there you go.
Huh? Yeah, because that I definitely have seen. It's probably in the CD version then somewhere, but
I like these photos.
Yeah, and those photos would be from the tour after the 75 record, the self-titled record. Lindsay was just such a badass. But yeah, he really got the cocaine situation was so bad.
Which one's Lindsay? Because this guy looks coked out.
Oh yeah, that's Mick Fleetwood. Yeah, okay, that's the drummer. Yeah,
in all those photos, he's got those dead eyes.
Yeah. He always had that look though too. Like even if you look in the late 60s on some of there's a famous album cover from Fleetwood Mac. I think it's Mr. Wonderful or whatever. And he's got that same look. I think that might have been a play on that. Yeah. But very cool, very cool era for them. That would have been a very exciting time. Like if I could have a superpower, it would be time travel. So I could just go see Little Feat live and around that era, these guys live.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be amazing. But yeah, he, once the psychosis started to take hold for these guys, and the success,
it's a bad combo. I imagine.
To paraphrase John Mulaney, that must change you.
Yeah.
So by 1979, 1980, when Tusk came out, double record, I mean, a lot of people were not happy, including the label, right? Because there were definitely like songs that were singles and had single potential. Think About Me and Sarah, and really the song Tusk there is nothing like it.
Yeah.
If you've heard that one, right? Like the
most likely.
It's got that really polyrhythmic thing.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's got Well, yeah, it's just, and it had like an actual marching band in it, and
that's cool.
Yeah, so and I would imagine if I could ask Keith one question, it would be: is Tusk the influence on Love Pain and the Whole Crazy Thing? Because I feel like they are sort of distant cousins somehow. Because there was an expansive nature to Tusk that was inspiring, but it's also pretty. There are some really bad songs on it too. Yeah. So
I might have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out once.
I've been trying to listen and watch things more on impulse as opposed to calculated, because I'm usually very calculated with what I watch and listen to. But
Me too.
Last night I just was like, I'm gonna watch The Godfather, because there's an app my buddy showed me called Letterbox. With a D at the end. It's super cool. So I made a watch list, and I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I want to watch The Godfather.
Yeah.
So
and
maybe
how far did you get into it?
Well, it's 2 hours and 57 minutes if I recall. And I got in about an hour, and it's super cool so far. Yeah.
And just a warning, you can't stop when Godfather. You have to watch Godfather 2 next.
I have them all in the list.
And it is, but do not watch number 3.
Really?
Do not watch it.
Don't watch it.
I have never seen it. I was instructed by my mentor, Dean. Just do not want. It's not worth your time. You will destroy the whole.
Really?
It's so bad though that they are actually redoing it right now.
Really?
They're taking the scenes from the movie, and I think they're recrafting the story and they're re-releasing
Well,
it. It was that bad. Like
really?
Going from and part 2 is also better than part 1.
Oh,
so
really?
just warning
Okay,
you. Yeah,
it's cool so far, and I'm kind of actually. I mean, I'm assuming that lots of people watch, but spoiler warning.
Yeah.
The guy died
What?
already. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was kind of getting attached to him. Like, that guy's kind of a badass, but like the Godfather, and now he's dead.
Yeah,
and that's as far as I'm at right now.
Well, that's because he was the father, and now the son's got to figure out what he's gonna do, right?
And
So,
it's so cool. I love how there's the like he's with his girlfriend, and he's like that's how. I'm not even.
No, I
could
know.
get into that, but
yeah. Well,
yeah,
one of the best, and actually I have the book too. If you want,
that's cool because I was gonna say, are all 3 based on one book? Or
well, no, 1 and 2 I think
were based on, or how many books are there? I don't know.
Well, there were more associated books. I don't actually remember off the top of my head, but there were. I think there was one called The Sicilian, and that may have been connected somehow to.
They have referenced Sicilian in the movie.
Well, it's the Italy connection, right? The olive oil. Yeah, you'll see that they make their money with olive oil. It's
and Sicilian's it's a thing in chess too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Sicilian defense. It's a very complex strategy that I'm not sure how to do, but
you can teach me sometime.
One day maybe. Yeah. But yeah, that was 70s as well.
Yeah, 72 was the first one. Yeah. 74 was the second one, and then number 3 didn't come out until 1990, and I own it. Like, I bought the trilogy and everything.
Yes, I remember.
I'm like, I'm just gonna follow the rules. I'm not gonna watch number 3.
Well, if they're redoing it, then I'll just wait for that.
Yeah, well, watch it. I'm curious to see what's going on there, because I've also heard that it's not as bad as I'm thinking it is. But I don't know. I follow Dean's orders, and I'm not going to question him.
I assume he's read the book.
I would imagine, or maybe not. And honestly, the movie was more important than the book, and the book was good.
Well, because I didn't know there was a book till like a few days ago.
You don't probably even need to read it unless you want to. Like I read it once, and I gave it to my buddy Curtis. Read it too. I lent it to him. And he went through the whole Mario Puzo sort of what do you call it? Bibliography, right? That's a book. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just kind of like impulsively doing
right.
things.
Yeah.
It's more, it's much more enjoyable, I think.
Well, it is
in some ways.
Yeah, and you and I are cut from the same cloth, and we come from that lineage of if you don't have a list, then what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
But you do have to allow that time to allow the impulses to happen, and those are the times for me where I really know what I love and I don't like. When I think about, okay, I got nothing, what am I going to do? I go for this or this, and a lot of times it's Little Feat, David Lindley, of course. But
I have that with music. For
sure.
Like, if I don't have something to listen to, but I want to listen to something, it's always Haken though.
Yeah,
always. Which hopefully, if I
that's
get
a good choice for
me. Yeah, well, especially because like for my workout yesterday, I just queue up some of their longest songs, because then like literally 3 songs will last me an hour.
Interesting.
Because their longest song is 22 minutes, then 19, and then 17, and then 15 for Architect, which is
wow.
So that's like.
Do you?
I don't have to change songs.
I found that, which surprisingly, because I'm such a music nut, I found like listening to podcasts like Speech was better for me when I worked out, and I like listening. Not even audiobooks so much, but like listen to like interviews and things.
I do that too. For sure. It just depends on my mood, honestly. I mean, I was doing legs and abs yesterday, and I dread lunges.
But you're supposed to skip those days, aren't you?
Always
skip leg.
That's what I'm
day,
told.
Right?
But it kind of just depends. But I do listen to a lot of. That's actually the Bill Gates thing. Is he wakes up and listens to or watches a documentary on the treadmill.
Oh yeah.
That's
kind of what what I'm doing now too. I've been like this morning I watched an episode of that TV show Soul. It was a black
okay. I thought you were talking about the movie.
Oh, remember I showed you the Gladys Knight and the Pips stuff?
Yes.
I finished that episode. Yeah.
Okay.
I just like okay, I'll watch that, and so it's got a bit of a music theme to it. Or I just watch. I find too, like, because I'm trying to do like just 20 minutes just to get some good cardio, do some incline, decline, but like a Community or Big Mouth, like the shows that are between 20 minutes and a half an hour, just to get an episode in.
Definitely. Yeah, well, it's a good multitasking thing, because you don't need to focus on your feet when you're running. I guess unless you're training for like a marathon, you might do that. But
you're actually supposed to think less about the physical self. Get more in the headspace of breathing and and that's where I think music, like especially like a song like Sandstorm or whatever, like I can totally get where you might actually work a little bit harder if you get a song that you love or it's got like a certain tempo.
Totally.
And especially if you're going to start doing any tempo workouts like tempo squats, tempo curls.
I do that for fun sometimes. Or when I'm walking to the beat's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it as well.
Yeah. Well, and with those ones too, like trying to so nerdy, but like trying to count the time signatures.
Oh yeah.
It's like, and then sometimes I get stuck, but then like, oh, I'm done my reps now.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah. Although they say like if you're really into it, like you're supposed to really think about what you're doing. Yeah. But yeah, whatever. Lift heavy things repeatedly, you'll get gains.
Get somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I do highly recommend going down this rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, I actually might listen to Tusk. I think.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it right now in my chest. Like,
yeah, I'm just, okay. Well, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just that, Tusk is it's a slog. Like it's a double record, and the best things about it sound more like this album. So, but you can also figure out where like, okay, this guy was kind of losing it here a little bit. Yeah. It's funny because so that album came out and then Lindsay went and did a solo record right after.
Well, okay. So Tusk was like cocaine.
And
then so was Love Pain, right? Wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't know. I will probably get slapped at some point because it may not be true. To me, it sounds like, let's shoot for the stars. Cause there's an element of Love Pain, the Whole Crazy Thing that, I just get chills thinking about it. It feels like he was moving from being a boundary-pushing country star on his trajectory to becoming an international pop superstar, still from the basis of country. But the problem with that record is because he burned out. He was engaged to Nicole, and then he went into rehab. He couldn't promote the record well, and it kind of got lost. There were still hits from it, like
it's a great album. Though.
Well, yeah, like the first track alone, like there was like a pop mix of that song.
I remember the first three. I don't actually even remember them in order, but I remember that the first three were pretty awesome.
They're all amazing. Yeah.
Was Shine on that one?
Yeah, that was number 2. Yeah,
that's a great song.
And then, I Told You So was number 3. Like the drum sounds alone were as good as a Brendan O'Brien '90s album. So
the drums and the bass. Well, the drums in Shine.
Yeah. Every track. Yeah, to me is the drum tracks are just outstanding. Yeah. And the only way to really get that is to spend a lot of money getting the sounds you want and having a great player. Of course, Chris McHugh did that one as far as I know. Matt Chamberlain did a lot of some of the ones before that too. Yeah, he's a Seattle guy. Okay. He actually played in Pearl Jam for a while, but he's not. I think where he was in Edie Brickell's band, and he's just a freak. Yeah, he's so good. Yeah, so very creative studio drummer.
What was he on for Pearl Jam? Was it before Matt? Because Matt's in the band still, right?
Because when Soundgarden shut down.
So was he on 10 then?
No, he was after, long after, Binaural and
like Matt or.
Matt, you're thinking Matt Cameron, yeah.
But Chamberlain.
Matt Chamberlain was on Binaural, and was he on Yield? No, what was the one after Yield? I can imagine a lot of people are yelling at me now, telling me the answer to their podcast. But yeah, around the year 2000, kind of 98, 99, 2000, 2001 in there.
Because the drums on 10 were cool too.
Yeah, I don't know totally.
Who that was, but.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but that guy made it into the Rock Hall when they got nominated. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's funny because now they've had like a few drummers since, but yeah.
Well, Matt, I think Cameron. I guess now I have to specify, but he's a legend.
Yeah. Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, the Soundgarden stuff is phenomenal. Yeah,
being everywhere.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
Yeah, no, he's a journeyman. Yeah, he's a great him and same with. Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers, like some of those guys, they come out of the band scene and they are able to transition into studio work and or sitting in with other bands because it doesn't it doesn't work for everyone, especially when you've come off a gig like a band gig. You kind of have your thing, but these guys are able to, because they're students and of the instrument. They can just they want to dig in and get better and stay busy and creating.
Definitely.
But definitely try Tusk, of course. But you should give this one like a good listen.
I guess, yeah. How long is the first one?
About the same, about 40 minutes, 45
Mind
minutes.
you, I always feel kind of obnoxious asking about the length of an album.
Yeah. Well, you can usually look at the era and kind of get a good guess, right?
Yeah.
Because this was the vinyl era. So there were 45 minutes or so, 40 minutes. Fleetwood Mac, and then Rumours and Tusk. I love the stuff after. There's an album called Mirage in 82. So he did a solo record. Stevie did a solo record at the same time, 81. 82, they did Mirage. And then, then they just kept going solo for a while. And then 87 was Tango in the Night. That was technically the last Lindsay album.
Okay.
And on that tour, they had to get Rick Vito and Billy Burnett, a couple Nashville guys actually doing guitar. It took two guys to fill Lindsay's shoes live, which I think, that's to me, that's pretty telling.
Yeah.
And then they rocked a couple other albums in a new configuration. And then they got back together around 96, 97 and did a couple albums again. But now, the latest drama is that, Lindsay quit or got fired or whatever. But then they replaced him with Mike Campbell from the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh, yes.
Good choice, right? And Neil Finn from Crowded House. So it, again, took two guys to...
Them.
Yeah, we'll get to them. Yeah, there's a whole... The Finn, New Zealand guys,
Okay. Yeah, I know Mike Campbell is one of your favorite underrated.
Yeah.
And actually, when you've played me some of his solos and stuff in the Tom Petty stuff, he's very good.
Well, it's not even really the solos, it's the parts for... Mike Campbell is the king of parts. He knows exactly the tone that his song needs. The solos are great too, but he's a freak. He's my one of my guys for
Definitely.
sure. Yeah. And ironically, while I like Tom Petty, he's not necessarily my favorite guy, but like the Campbell connection. My favorite thing about Mike Campbell is he was also a songwriter, and he would work up demos in the 80s, because back then it was hard to do that stuff. You had to have a drum machine and a tape machine at home or whatever. But he wrote and produced The Boys of Summer for Don Henley.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which that's and he offered it to Tom, and Tom's like, "Yeah, I don't think that's for me, man." And then and that became like a huge hit, and then Tom never let that happen again, apparently.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I wonder what would have happened then.
Well, I could hear him, because if you hear the album that Tom Petty did around that era called Southern Accents in like 85 or whatever, it does actually have a similar sound. It was like those Linn drums, the electronic drums, and just the production, this very sterile, digital kind of sounding. Songs are great though, and definitely not my favorite era, but very cool nonetheless. So these keep getting longer every time we do it. It's
really?
I see we're at 52 minutes.
Oh wow, that's funny, because we were gonna aim for a shorter one this time.
No big deal.
I mean, I do have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. So I do definitely encourage you to check out this stuff and Lindsay's solo stuff too. As you go, at least the album Out of the Cradle for me, that was 1993. That was a big record for me, and my Uncle Rob too. Yeah, we listened to that a lot in his T-Bird. Yeah, it was just a beautiful sounding record, great songs, and it shows like because he is one of those sort of like an auteur, like of course that's a film term, but like I just can play everything and sings, and just a creative guy all around. I mean, and look at that hair. I mean, that big fro.
It just looks legendary to me.
Yeah,
but it could be the psychology of I've heard so many good things about it, but I think you can get that from photography. Is like you can just tell when there's something special about a photograph.
Yeah, well, that's an iconic cover, right? Like the front part, and then I guess the back had the rest of them. Oh, they had all five on them. Yeah, very very cool. Candid. Very very fun. And the artwork, it still matters too. I mean, digitally too. If you're scrolling through like some new tracks and looking at new songs, single artwork still matters. It's still.
I was just watching a video about that actually, like the importance of album covers, and
you bet
they are very important.
And the nice thing about a singles world now is that you can do more artwork, so you can use the themes and some guys I've even tried. Like you can go so far as like when you look at it in order, like especially on Spotify, you can see like there's a thematic like element to the single artwork too. Eric Church has been doing that right now. He's got a triple record coming out called Heart and Soul.
Really?
So it's like heart and soul. So
that's cool.
I'm curious to see how he's going to turn this out, because he's been spitting out some singles that have been great, and I think they're all going to drop in to the album proper, but it's going to be great. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome for sure. But Lindsay solo, of course, Stevie solo. You probably know a little bit more about her stuff solo anyway.
Well, now that you brought up Waddy, and that kind of brings back some.
Yeah, and Hornsby did some work with her in the late '80s too.
Okay,
there's an album called The Other Side of the Mirror. I think he just played piano on 1 or 2 tracks. Maybe wrote something for her, but yeah, it's hard to miss that for sure. But yeah, she took her a long time to kind of get straightened out, and her later solo stuff to me is it's outstanding. Like right up until the last one, that 24 Karat Gold record was like, every time there's a new Stevie Nicks record, it's an event for me. Like it's
and she still releases.
Yeah, not often though, but like since 2000, I think there's only been 3 records. But there's an album called In Your Dreams that is just awesome too. It's a really big part of popular music history through the Fleetwood Mac thing. But it really all kind of converges in the Rumours record. If I never listened to it again, I could probably still hum along or sing and play to everyone anyway. Cool. But there are some great songs. You Make Love and Fun is probably my favorite. I love the way it grooves. Christine sings it great. Some really cool harmonies. Lindsay's guitar, some great fills. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna put up, because you can still listen to Spotify even on the freemium version.
That is true.
But I'm gonna put up a nice little Spotify playlist to accompany this episode of This Road Is Mine. Perfect. Also going to have the Spotify exclusive version, of course, and I'll have the songs dropped in as we've been discussing some things. I'll probably throw in some maybe some Stevie Nicks solo, some Lindsey Buckingham solo, maybe Peter Green, just to be fair.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'll probably do that. All right, buddy. Well, This Road Is Mine. KARAC HENDRIKS. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will hopefully get you listening next week. And Cohen's going to go to the bathroom.